Alright guys, so I'm currently in the city, you could say, so more downtownish, no longer by the stadium where it was kind of out of the city. And basically, you see behind me, right? There's a building called the Congress Center. That's what it's called, Centre de Congrès in French, but basically the direct translation is the same thing. And you can see there's a bunch of flags, right? So first you have those flags there. I don't know if you guys can see, just where I'm pointing, there's a bunch of other flags too, which I passed by on the train, so I had to come back and see what it is. But I'm not really sure. It has to be some type of international building, of course. You can see a bunch of flags of Europe. I think they're all European flags. Yes, they definitely are. You have the Swedish and kind of all the Norwegian flags there. Sorry, all the Nordic flags there. But yeah, I'm not sure what it actually is as the building itself. But feel free to search it up and then tell me in the comments, or if I remember, which I probably won't, to be honest, I'll search it up and I can post it somewhere. But yeah, it's really cool, and it's just on the river too. So, or not on the river, in between the highway that I had to pass over with that bridge. And basically, yeah. So I'm going now towards a really beautiful fountain, and it's just towards this direction, which it goes towards the downtown. All right, guys. So we're at 45 minutes before I have to get to the train station. One thing I forgot to go and show you guys is the street Jeanne d'Arc. So as you guys know, I always like to highlight the Jeanne d'Arc because every city in France seems to have their own touch. I'm not gonna go all the way back there because I just really don't want to. But if you look just there at that intersection, let me highlight it, just there, the street that turns into that street just that goes there, so not this street here, but if you go there and turn, that's the street Jeanne d'Arc. So it's another example of her being commemorated in another French city, and it's really cool. But the main attraction here is the fountain ahead of me. So I'll look at what the name was and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so I just got the name. It's called the Sube, S-U-B-E fountain, and look how beautiful it is. So you can see, first of all, you have a bunch of flowers. Of course, it looks like some type of angel flying with wings at the top, and of course water since it's a fountain. And it's extremely beautiful, honestly. Look at the water flowing. Look at all those flowers. So that seems to be one of the main kind of attractions here in the city. And it's even like a big alley. So this entire road, if you look behind me, is only closed off for pedestrians. There's even another fountain off there. And I know the sound of water is really loud, but yeah, this seems to be like one of the principal intersections of the city. As you can see, even in that direction, it's only pedestrian access. All right guys, so kind of in a weird situation here. I literally walked around the entire building here, which behind me is supposed to be the Museum of Fine Arts. Even on that sign there, which is just right there, I read that sign, it's the Museum of Fine Arts, and I even got to the garden, but you guys can see this side is all walled off, and every single other side was like that too. So I'm not sure if it's closed to public or whatever the deal is, but unfortunately I couldn't even get to see what it was like. But with that being said, I just want to give you guys a quick fact about that fountain. So it was actually destroyed in 1942 during the Second World War. During the 80s, it was restored, or rebuilt actually, because it was destroyed. In 2016, it was actually restored. So that was kind of the mix-up I had there. But basically, if you guys noticed, it was in quite good condition, at least according to me. And that's because it was recently restored only in 2016. So that's 7 years ago, which is crazy to think, but that's the reality. All right guys, the next stop is the Royal Square. And honestly, I was kind of excited to be here, but it's not really living up to hype, to be honest. So in the middle of the square, what you have is a big statue. I'm gonna make my way around to the other side because the person that's standing on it is somebody, I mean, they're facing the other way. But yeah, it's dedicated to the city of Reims, and I'm not sure, like, it's called the Royal Palace, and Google Maps like hyped it up a lot, but like there's no really cool stores around, there's no cafes like the other places. It's just a big statue, and it's to Louis XV, it seems. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna head in this direction, which is towards the doors of Mars, and I'll also see some other stops on the way if I can get there. All right guys, so I'm currently behind a really cool thing. It's called a crypto portico, and basically what that means is that when the city was still ancient, from the first and second century, that's when they think it was built. This would have housed essentially the economic, the social, religious heart of the city. and so it was partially underground, it seems, because that's when they found it, when they were digging underground to actually, they wanted to make an underground market, like a bread market, whatever they sold. And when they were digging to make it covered, like a covered market, they found this. And like you can see, nowadays it's just where people use it to sit, but like this would have been the heart of the city, and it's underneath where the royal place is. So like just the royal square that we passed, that's also where the royal palace is. And so really it's in the center of the city, and it's an important kind of landmark of what the city was like in ancient times. So guys, check this out. It's kind of a cool little place. So I'll just show you guys. It's basically a market, and you can see how long it stretches up to the window you just see right there. And it's obviously closed right now, but you can imagine that when all the booths are there, it's like a pretty lively market. But that's just kind of a side attraction. The main attraction are the gates, or kind of the fortification of Mars. If I do the direct translation, it's called the Doors of Mars, which was the god, like I said. But in fact, it's it's what was like the defining line of the city back when it was like a fortress kind of city. So I'm gonna go there right now and then head to my train. Hi guys, so here they are right behind me, the Doors of Mars. You can see we have the French flag and a bunch of kind of relics and statues. I think I might be mistaken. I'm honestly kind of ashamed of myself. I assumed that these were a part of the old fortification of the city, but now that I see how they're designed, it looks much newer. And I think it's a memorial to the dead during the wars. But that's another thing that you guys can look up and tell me in the comment section. But check that out, it's so cool. And behind me you have another big square, and if you actually look there, just above my shoulder, you should be able to see kind of the letters of the city out in big bold. So every city has that, you know, Toronto has it. That's the one that really comes to mind. I think Edmonton had one where I'm from, and kind of just that's where all the tourists take pictures. But it's pretty cool to see that. And now I have to get straight to the train station. Alright guys, this is insane. So like I said, I'm there where the big letters of the city are, just there. But I didn't even show you guys the correct ones. So the Doors of Mars are there, but they're covered. So that's why I kind of forgive myself for thinking that one was the one, because the real one was covered here by all these tarps, so we can't even see anything. And I'm not sure when it's going to be reopened, but it looks like I don't have time to do a 360 like wraparound. But even you guys can see from this side too, it's also closed off. So unfortunately, I won't even be able to see arguably the main attraction, or one of the main attractions of the city. But I guess what else can you do? Sometimes that's the case, that it's closed and the timing is not perfect. But it's still quite a beautiful park that I'm walking through, and it's really interesting that it's just a park in the middle of the city, and it leads directly to the train station, which I'm heading to right now. My train leaves in 11 minutes, and I'm like 3 minutes away from the station, so I should make a good timing. But yeah, I'm so sad that the Doors of Mars are covered. Alright guys, and they just decided, I guess, to put a bunch of cool monuments here in this kind of square that I'm talking about. So I don't know if I'm not sure if you guys can read what's on there, but it's La Résistance, or the Resistance. So I'm assuming that this is a monument to those who resisted the Nazis during the Second World War, and that's because they called the movement against the Nazis in France the Resistance. And you guys can see there's a French flag, and on each side there's a bunch of inscriptions with just kind of saying they suffered, they fought for our freedom, and that's really cool. So that's that. Alright guys, so here we are at the train station behind me with 7 minutes to spare. So I still gotta kind of walk with a brisk pace, but I'll get there on time. I'm not sure if I highlighted this, but another cool kind of square slash monument just in front of the train station. They really did a good job in front of the train station of making it kind of a welcoming place. Still, like I said at the very beginning, it's not as good as the Strasbourg one, and also it is unfortunate because just like with the city hall was like this. I didn't even show you guys because it was so lame. You can see here they have literally a cardboard like facade in front of the station, which shows like where this stone would be, even though it's under construction. So it's not actual stone. I'm not sure how well it falls in the video, but literally that is just cardboard, or kind of some type of, it's not the real stone, and that's because it's under construction. But nevertheless, it's a cool place, and we got a nice little penguin here. So what's up, bro? Give him a little high five. Hey, so shout out to the penguin. And yeah, I might record something quickly while I'm in Paris because I have a 2-hour stop there. But other than that, that was it for Reims, and it was a good trip overall.